or you're about to kiss, either one.
What up, everyone? It's Nate with Streetwavve, and welcome to another sit-down episode. Today, I'm on 19th and Grand at East and West in a gnarly barbershop. Let's go in and check it out. You dig? Cameron, what's going on, man?
Not
Thank
too
you
much,
for your
man.
time, man. I
Of
really
course,
appreciate
dude. For sure.
it. We're here at this amazing retail shop.
Yeah.
And I remember coming in on the grand opening,
Yeah,
evening party.
yeah.
It was
I remember
rad.
seeing you here.
Yes.
And I didn't get the chance to come say what's up, and I felt bad about that ever
That's
since.
all good.
So.
It was just good to be in another men's garment retail shop, and how different would this separate from the rest in Kansas City?
Yeah.
So was that the mindset when you came in here was like, how can we be different than the rest?
For sure, man.
Good.
Yeah, I think for me, coming into the market in KC, there was the idea, of course, that you want to be different than what exists. And I felt pretty good about that just based on what we carried and what we were going to emphasize here in the shop. But more than that, I think that was going to come through just because the shop's a really personal manifestation of the things I'm into. So, and I felt like just for the places that were here in town, it's like there were spots that I really loved to go hang, and places that had a lot of brands I really loved, but nothing that I thought really fit like the aesthetic that I myself dressed as and really wanted to pursue myself. So yeah, man, plugging down into the crossroads with the mix that we have, I think fills a nice little hole that's been here in the market just in terms of some of the brands that we carry, but then also with just the stuff that I've been really into, it finally serves that interest for me as well. So yeah, man, that was the idea.
Did you take the thoughts of your personal closet and you just applied it here to think, hey, this is what my closet would look like at home?
That's it, exactly. So a bunch of the stuff that I wore prior to opening the shop was stuff that was unavailable here in town. So that was part of it, was
exclusive.
Just exactly bringing that stuff that hadn't been available in town from some of the denim brands we carry, all the way down to some of the stuff that leans a little bit more, kind of streetwear oriented. Just taking that stuff that I'd been wearing for years and years and plugging it down here in KC. So.
Yeah, that's incredible. What I also noticed about the spot was that it was a good spot in this area for a community build.
Yeah.
It was missing something.
Totally.
So I feel like in the garment realm and in fashion today, it's something that really gets people together because we're all on the same playing field, in a sense. So was that your hope for also starting here? Was like, how can we build a community again? Since, I mean, real talk is we have Baldwin that's created a community.
For sure.
The starters.
Yeah, that's where I started my career in town, was Baldwin. So there's no doubt that's
I see that's
been
like
a big part of it for them.
Exactly, and now opening another shop, it's exciting because I see people come in here and they come alive.
Yeah.
So building a community had to be in the back of your mind when establishing this
No doubt,
place.
man. Yeah, I think, not only, I don't want to romanticize it too much, but I think one of the really beautiful parts of physical retail, of brick and mortar retail, is that it has the ability to build a community and make connection between people who have, similar interests, whether that's in fashion, whether that's in music, whether that's just in, the arts and culture that come with being in the downtown area. For sure, is like being able to give people a place to come, dialogue over that stuff, specifically clothes, obviously, and what we do, but hopefully the clothes bleeds over into other elements of what we've got going on here in town as well. So,
any favorite brands? I mean, this is your closet, essentially.
Exactly.
So I want to know some of your favorite brands.
All of them that are in here are ones that I love. I would say the one for me that sticks out, that I'm really, really excited to carry here in town, is a brand called Engineered Garments. We were just talking before we started going here, but EG is probably one of the more exclusive brands we have in the shop. It's one that's got a pretty limited distribution, and one that I think a lot of people in town weren't familiar with before we introduced it. They're based out of New York, really, really heady details on all their stuff. They manufacture exclusively in the garment district in New York, so the quality piece is there. Daiki, who's their designer, is this really, really, just intentional designer with the details, all the sewing and construction and that sort of thing. They do a lot of like military reproduction stuff. A lot of classic tailoring as well. So they do this nice mix of reproduction, kind of vintage, inspired by kind of newer design details as well. So just a beautiful brand, top to bottom. I love engineered garments. Carhartt Whip is an amazing brand that we carry. A lot of people know that Carhartt name, right. But Work in Progress is a line a lot of people aren't super familiar with here in the Midwest. But Carhartt Whip got launched in Europe back in the mid-90s. And it's kind of how people know Carhartt in the European market is this Carhartt Work in Progress, which is a little bit slimmer, like still the same quality, but Carhartt Whip in Europe has been super supportive of like the skate and arts industries over there. So that's how people know Carhartt Whip is as a skate and kind of artist brand. And so they've just been introduced to the US like within the last maybe 7 or 8 years. There's a Carhartt Whip store in New York now, but it's fun to introduce Carhartt Whip in the Midwest where people know the Carhartt name specifically for workwear, and then to be able to throw some pieces at them that are a little bit more, kind of streetwear and just classic menswear versus just workwear. So yeah, man, Carhartt Whip, engineered garments, 2 of my favorites in the store for sure.
Dane, what's going on, brother, man?
Hello, friend.
Thank you for making time today, man. So I remember first meeting you here at the same spot, but we were cutting in the closet.
Oh, yeah.
And you were dreaming, and I was dreaming of what your store was going to look like. You already knew.
Right.
But let's walk through that process on how your shop came alive.
Okay. We can back up a little bit from when even right before we met, I had an idea of putting my shop actually in the West Bottoms. And yeah, that got extremely expensive, the idea of building out there. It's very bare bones there, no HVAC, no plumbing. And so my dream was quickly becoming crushed. Because I was like, no, that's too expensive. You want me to put all that in? Can't do it. Not gonna do it. So my business partner, his name's Graham, and he and Cameron of East and West here had started connecting more, and they had talked about. Cam had mentioned to him like, hey, you should bring Dane by and maybe check out the back space. He's like, I'll ask him. We started looking down here in the crossroads. This is kind of where I wanted to be originally, and then I changed my mind, right? So anyway, long story short, I entertained it, and I came down here. I don't even know what day it was. I think it was a Tuesday, to be honest, because So came down here, and Cameron and I have known each other for a little bit, but not like really well, just good acquaintances, I would say. And so I walk in and like instantly was warmed by his welcome. As you know, like he's good at like just being friendly and kind, and he's I was just like instantly like, hey man, what's up? Like just felt really warm and welcomed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And so we didn't spend much time. We got right to it. He's like, wanna see the space? So we go back. I was like, yeah, let's see the space. And there was black curtain on that side, on my now entrance side, and he opens the curtain, shows it to me, and we literally maybe looked at it for 30 seconds. Like, I just kind of gazed. He's like, there's a skylight and this and that, and I'm like, space looks great. Let's go back in here. Tell me about you. And like, basically, we just really connected on customer service and hospitality and how those things are like the most important thing to us. And I knew that if I was going to be in the back of a retail space, of a clothing store, or of any space, that whoever works there, whoever's part of that, is going to be like my client's first experience, first interaction. And I was just like, man, I feel really good about this. And and so yeah, we don't love the word, but it's like serendipity is definitely very much how the experience went. Whereas it's like, yeah, this is supposed to happen. We need to make this happen. And so then, yeah, he's like, well, why don't you just start cutting here now? Okay. So, you know, it was going to be like 2 months. Thought the build out was going to go a little faster than it did, but I was back there for a good 3.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun to see the journey that like my clients were willing to go on. Went out the back. Yeah, it died. Somehow hipster still around.
Sure.